Matt Lenihan Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store Arkings. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to top that. I don't do Eddie Murphy impressions, but
I love him. I do.
He's brilliant. Look, a press conference that was absolute fireworks from start to finish. But as usual, your man kept his cool among such chaos.
He does. He's cool, calm, and collected, and he's got to do that in the ring as well. He's got to maintain his composure, and if he does that, he can win this fight.
With him now at this new weight, does that give you more of an added confidence? I spoke to him at the start of fight week, and I said, look, there's a lot made of all the changes, the new team, this, and this. But how do you feel like this week in comparison? He goes, oh yes, I want to make the weight now, I can do it. Is that good going into it? The fact he's at that.
It is. He's got that mentality, and he's been. You see him all that nonsense that's going on with Berlanga, and Berlanga needs to do all that. He's one of those guys. He needs to lift himself. And I was watching him on the face up, and I was watching his eyes and how he was, and Hamzah, he knows he's got a fight with Hamzah. He knows that.
What do you make of Edgar Berlanga? He divides opinion, and I suppose that's what sells. So, you like him, you love him. Is he good for the sport?
It's good for the sport. It's what you do in the ring at the end of the day, what counts. So let's see what he does in the ring. If he can back up in the ring what he says outside the ring, then yeah. But if he can't back up, then it's a damp squib.
There's a huge sort of carrot I feel dangling at the end of this. Turkey's alluded to it. I know Berlanga always talks about Canelo, but for Hamzah Sheeraz, this is the one.
This is a great opportunity for him. If he comes through it, it's on to even bigger things. This is big night for him, but the next one would be even bigger.
Got to ask him, another big fight that got made, Anthony Yarde, Benavidez. What a fight. I know you and Anthony now obviously back together, the gang's back together, and put him in another huge fight. How pleased are you for him to get this opportunity against a formidable fighter in Benavidez?
He's in with a great fighter, and it's his third opportunity to fight for a world title. He grabbed it with both hands, and he has the power to win the fight. He has the power. Benavidez is a fabulous fighter. I love him, love watching him, but he hasn't taken that. I don't feel he's taken the power that he had in the lower divisions up.
Do you believe that Anthony Yarde will provide more of a threat than a David Morrell, who obviously shared the ring with him? Is that the way his keys to victory?
I do. If we get a vintage performance from him, he'll give him problems. He gave Better Beer problems. He gave Kovalev problems.
Is he in a stage now where, I don't like saying now and never, because boxing always throws him back up to you, but this really is his chance now? Is that a good?
You're spot on with that. Yeah.
In other news, obviously, Anto Kakachi, sadly, obviously, out of that fight. Have you had an update from Anto? How's he feeling? Obviously, gutted.
I haven't spoken because I was obviously flying here, but it's a shame for him. I mean, it's a great opportunity for him. But look, you can't fight. If you're injured, you can't train. If you can't train, you can't fight. And we'll get him out again before the end of the year.
I was at the IBA convention, and your man Tyson turned up. In one breath, he was like, he said to me, why am I going to come back for what? And I just said, well, exactly, you ticked all the boxes. And then as the end of the interview went on, he goes, you know what, I'd come back for Usyk. He goes, because he can tell it irks him, and I think it's hurt him the way it is.
It does hurt him. Sorry.
I was just going to say, he alluded to the fact of this is shortly after, literally the day after, I'd like to do it on fair ground. I think he mentioned April. You know what it's like, this business, but have you had further conversations to say, look, we're getting the ball rolling?
I've spoken with him, and he said that he wants to fight, but this year he's got lots of things on. He's got his second series at home with the Furies, and his documentary is being made for Netflix, so he's got all those things going on. Although he's in the gym training and ticking over, but to get into a fight camp at the moment, it's not the time for him. So it'll be next year, and nearer the time we can talk about that.
Obviously, everyone talks about the Anthony Joshua fight, but he was dead set on saying, look, Usyk, I really want to put that right. Do you think one's more realistic than the other?
I think they're both realistic, but I don't think the belts will be on the line if he fights Usyk. I think Daniel Dubois is going to hold him.
Well, when you said that, I'm like, it's a bit premature. Daniel's got an incredible opportunity next week. Yeah. Power in both hands, look, and he's a much better fighter, I think, personally, from the first time. Do you sort of share that sentiment now that he's sort of peaking at the right time, and timing in boxing is essential?
I think it is what the Usyk camp said. They're not fighting Daniel the boy this time, they're fighting Daniel the man, and he's coming off a real great run of wins over world-class fighters, which are great confidence builders for him.
It was in Poland with you, and you could tell after the fight, it almost felt like it was the one that got away, especially with the shot.
That's down to him.
Yeah.
That's down to him. If he'd have stayed focused, he could have won it. Allowed the referee to distract him, but it weren't to be. And sometimes you learn from that, and he has learned from it, and he's come back as a stronger person.
I was going to say, do you feel like that not helped him? Because on the night it's an absolute nightmare for him, but he then gets an acid test of a pressure fighter like Big Baby Miller, who can stick it on him the whole fight.
That's why we made the fight, and showed he's dangerous throughout the fight by stopping him in the last round.
Good up. Well, look, Frank, appreciate your time. There's some big fights coming. We'll catch up soon.
Yes.